Hello everybody and welcome back to Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. In the last episode, Nagito got absolutely obliterated, GG no read, and we're happy about it because he was a major psychopath and bro was just the worst. But I digress. We are gonna do his class trial right now. I do have a bit of an inkling that Nagito set up his own death. I have two reasons for this. One, Nagito had poison in his room that was half used. I think he used that poison in the water grenades because they didn't do anything, and because of Sonia's peculiar comments about the water supplies being moved and so forth. And Nagito was the only one that kind of like had access to that while everybody else was doing their own thing. The second reason is exactly that. His computer transmission literally said to meet him next door in the warehouse, so it was the only one who could have set everything up to begin with. The only thing I'm kind of stuck on is how the hell did he do all that without involving someone else, because it looks like all four of his limbs were tied up. He couldn't have like stabbed himself and done all that crap if all four of his limbs were tied up, right? That's the only thing that gets me, but whatever. I'm expecting to get my brain broken. Let's get right into the class trial. Or let's get into 5 minutes of inner monologue about despair and then into the class trial, rather.
Damn right.
Looks like everyone's here.
Huh?
Is this it? Shouldn't there be more people?
Damn it.
Stop it, you're making me depressed.
Stupid fool!
You're making me depressed. So it's going to happen again. The cruel conflict where we must doubt our friends. But once we're through this, we can go back, right?
That's right.
That Monokuma bastard said so, didn't he? He said this is the last class trial. That could mean really good or really bad things, Kazuichi. Like, the timer could literally be a big bomb that just blows everyone up. Or it could be like a countdown to where Monokuma kills everybody or something, I don't know. Or he could literally be letting us go, who knows? But I doubt that's the case.
Damn it.
But we've been tricked every step of the way. There's no way I can believe that so easily.
Of course not.
Why can't you believe it? The guy who's making us do all this is the one saying it, you know?
You know,
That's
right?
why I'll definitely survive. If we can really go home after we deal with this class trial,
That's right.
I'll definitely find out who the killer is no matter what, even if I have to pull out all the stops. Whatever you say, buddy.
You.
What the fuck? Why are you here? You good, Monami? She's in her Tekken phase, I guess. She wants to kick some ass, chew some bubblegum. You haven't realized it yet? That feeling of wanting to leave the island, thinking like that is Monokuma's trap, you know?
Huh?
What are you saying?
Got it?
There's no way Monokuma will end things there. He's planning something far worse. Stop trying to jinx us.
I'll beat you up!
Damn right, stupid rabbits should just shut up. Everyone, you mustn't run away from despair. Huh? I have finally realized after losing my powers, I've realized that cursing your powerlessness or your fate accomplishes nothing. That possibility may be small, but as long as there's a possibility, you must face it. In order to become someone who can be proud of yourself. So I will fight.
Huh?
What's her deal? Yeah, she got all serious all of a sudden. After the whole debacle in the room with Monokuma. So I don't know, bro. I guess she's finally maybe like got some courage. I do not really know, but she seems different from before. Maybe she read our self-help book. Yeah, definitely.
Wait.
But her eyes, she looks so determined.
You.
What can you tell just by looking at those button eyes? Anyway, make sure you turn off Minimaru. It'd be annoying if you started talking to her during the class trial. Fine.
But still.
Somehow I understand what Monami is saying, I think. Anyway, let's get going. To the last class trial. You're right, we need to fight as much as we can. No matter what hopeless truth awaits us in the end. Yummy, yummy in my tummy, says the Monokuma statue. I still can't get over how it spits out a whole escalator. This is the end. I kept saying those words to myself over and over within my mind. I entered Monokuma Rock. Are we gonna have the despair dialogue again as we go down the elevator for the 20th time? Is that gonna... Okay, this is gonna be... Alright.
Yeah.
This elevator ride, this will be the last time for this too, right? I hope so.
Well,
Let's worry about things after we're finished.
you are right.
More importantly, we must focus on the class trial before us. Despair!
Damn it.
The killer managed to kill someone like Nagito. There's no way this is gonna go smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us was able to do that. Nagito was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials. Yeah, I guess. Just because he did the crazy shit nobody else would do. Like, if it wasn't for him, Gundam would have won the last class trial. Yeah, you're right. In fact, during the Funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him. But even if he's gone, the ones who survive need to stand and fight. We must fight. Katakeo. And then the door slowly opened. This bright light greeting us. Is that the light of hope? Or the light of despair? Kachiga. Kachow. Sorry.
Well now.
Well, and now that the chatterbox Nagito is gone, there are only 6 of you left.
Shut the hell
Enough,
up!
just fucking start this already.
Hey!
Hey, this is it, right? This is really the last class trial, right?
Yep.
Yep, it sure is. So, you guys gotta show some enthusiasm and make sure you give it your all.
All right!
Didn't I tell you? He said it. This is the end.
Now then.
Let's get this class trial started.
Viva killing!
This is the last class trial. Let's show some enthusiasm and kill each other. This is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. The curtain is about to rise. Nagito Komeda, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy. He came across as very sociable. But his true nature held such a demented thought process that was nothing like his outward appearance. He said he believed in hope more than anything else. He said he was yearning for a powerful hope that can overcome any despair. He said he would even help despair just to prove the hope will never lose to despair. Maybe is that why he set up his own death? Maybe he set up his own death and made the class trial wicked hard in order for, like, hope to overcome despair or some stupid shit. I don't know. And he said he'd become a stepping stone for hope. His way of thinking was completely screwed up. But there was also times where he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. That was the end of him. And I have no idea who did it, but it was one of us, baby. There's no way we can end this without knowing. We'll be consumed by despair. That's why we absolutely have to find out. The person who finished off Nagito. The killer who murdered Nagito. You didn't have to say that twice. That's the same thing. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. And if Monokuma says this is really the last class trial, that's all the more reason we need to do this. And so, this life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, the last one, has begun. Alright, save. Heck yeah. Give me that sweet, juicy despair. Okay, I have one more skill from Kazuichi's social link, right? I think. Handiwork. Allows you to reload 2 bullets at once? Heck yeah. Gimme. Okay. I equipped that, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go. I am so ready, bro. My brain is asking so many questions.
Let's begin. During the
Nobody
class
cares.
trial, if you vote
Shut up.
correctly, then I'll punish. Oh my, Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you?
She drank some protein and she's finally ready to face you, Monokuma. She was watching some Andrew Tate or something, I don't know.
You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? because you're a rabbit? Chesto!
Okay, that was like uncalled for. That was literally for no reason. Oh.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow!
Okay, that's a new one. Okay, she's holding head fast. That's cool, I guess. But like standing there and doing nothing, is that really helping?
It's useless.
No.
Please stop. I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monomi. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who was attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
Yeah, me too.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
I would say that normally, but I feel like that's never the case. The first person we suspect is never the case, ever.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
Huh. The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or... Interesting. Okay, let's see. Torture wound, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie, Monokuma... What's the other one? Oil lighter, Monokuma's account, torture wounds.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so...
So
the
I was
suspect
gonna say that at first, but then the duct
is
tape
whoever
over the
found
mouth
bomb
kinda
first.
puts a
was
kibosh on
Fuyuhiko.
that.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Because if he was being tortured, then like, why the duct tape over the mouth? I guess to keep him from screaming, but like at that point, you're literally gonna kill him. So like, it's not really, like you stabbed him 20 bajillion times, he's gonna die from bloodlust. You're gonna really spend the time to shut his mouth with duct tape before getting the information you need? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. All right, were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place? It seemed kind of malicious, to be quite honest,
mouth
but...
to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were...
The reason Nagito's body...
It's because the killer
Okay.
tortured Nagito.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I
that's
thought.
wrong.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
Yeah.
I'm prepared.
Bruh, are you? It's literally the first 5 minutes of the class trial.
I just
You
realized
don't need to do
it's
this.
a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Stupid. All right, I'm going with
Like
duct
you
tape
said,
again.
Nagito's mouth was taped shut. You obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Kazuichi seems unusually confident. I should ask why that is.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. I can't back down!
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Magic
Pay
telepathy.
attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information. And then, after they killed him...
What?
Damn it!
Wait, which one was I supposed to kill?
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location.
Obviously, that's not true.
Then, after they killed him...
After they killed him?
Allow me to cut through those words.
Where does that come from? After they killed him?
No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
Because of the blood splatter as well, but like, after they killed him, why are you going there? We're only discussing about the whole, you know, torture.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? You might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
If you're not gonna contribute, shut up, kindly, please.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us
Yes.
when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
Appropriate use, I must say. Otherwise, Nagito would talk your ear off. I kind of sympathize with the killer there.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
I literally has nothing to do.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
Yeah, I can say that for sure with the 20 bajillion cuts on the thighs and so forth. Yeah.
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Are we gonna go over the whole domino mechanic with the Monokuma signs now?
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
It was your fault, Akane. You did this.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
My question is though, like, I'm assuming the killer spread oil all over the curtain, right? In order for when the lighter touches it, it starts burning up. But like, was the lighter always just turned on, waiting for someone to kick the door open and for the dominoes to fall on the lighter? Was that what that was? What happened if like the lighter ran out of oil or was faulty or went out or something? What would the killer have done then? That would have been one hell of a epic fail, I guess, huh?
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay,
I
Miss
do
Sonia?
not know why you're still simping over Sonia, to be quite honest.
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire, huh? They're right. We need to clear that up first. Torture wounds, burned rope, survival knife, duct tape, Monokuma plushie, Monokuma panels. I'm going with the Monokuma panels. Those were the things set up like dominoes.
The fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
No.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
That's
if they tipped
true.
over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
That's like dead
Some
on.
way?
That's dead on.
Maybe they used invisible thread.
No. That's stupid.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
No.
Or perhaps opening the door caused...
Oh! Soya, you
I agree
genius.
with that.
You Gundam simping genius.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan!
Never mind.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And don't forget the blaring music, the blaring, depressing Dark Souls music.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The killer did one more thing to hide it's the music, right? Cause I guess you have to hide this noise from the tipping over Monokumas. I always thought it was just to muffle his screaming some more. But I guess that could also be the case for the
I see!
to hide the panels or whatever
You're talking
noise.
about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were still used to the bright sunlight outside. Within the darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume. Hey, do you guys hear something? Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap? No, I'm not talking about the music. As if on cue, it suddenly started. Yeah, this confused me at first, the spontaneous combustion, but now it makes sense.
So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
Oh, you heard the panels falling? I thought it was... Okay, interesting. Akane has the
But those
eyes and ears of a
sounds weren't
goddamn
the only
wolf.
strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine, I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, I'll be fine. With those words, Akane brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door to the warehouse. Clatter, clatter, clatter. It's not opening? They locked the door too, so someone would kick it in with force, I guess. Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I knew it, it's a trap. Seriously, just stop it, okay? Didn't I tell you it'll be fine? I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? Akane ignored their protest, mighty kick, blah blah blah.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
I'm surprised they're that sturdy to be able to block a whole door like that without people being barely able to open it.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door,
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
but the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse, I see. So the problem Jackie's talking about is the killer couldn't have left. So yeah, it's pointing more and more to Nagito, like I said. Yeah. He set everything up beforehand and then had the computer message to bring everyone to the warehouse.
The killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Mr. Crazy, Mr. Psychopath.
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse, there's only one person who could have done that. Is the psychopath himself, Mr. Take Weeds a Lot. Mr. Weed Taker, Mr. High on Everything. I like how Monami is down there, still pummeled. But Mr. Nagito himself.
What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
Yeah, but he's crazy.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid.
Literally all the evidence is pointing to that, bro. You don't be stupid.
His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget?
Yeah, that's still stumping me, but like... I don't know. I gotta figure out how he did that. Because ain't no way he stabbed himself 20 bajillion times, is there? I guess Nagito would be crazy to do that, but like the thing that gets me is how he got all 4 of his limbs tied up to begin with.
Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
Yeah, because of his stupid belief in hope or in despair and all that crap.
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, that's stumping me too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
We can still have a discussion. This is a class trial. If you don't want to die, I suggest we discuss stuff that is pertinent to the case, dumbass. Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something. Me too. I don't know. Burned rope, survival. I'm going with the burned rope. That's the one that's on his right arm, right?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible.
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
What? What?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
Bro must have had the longest pengus alive. Jesus Christ. Okay. It's our assumption that Nagito committed the big S is correct. Nagito should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right? What?
To actually
Okay.
tie up your own arms and legs. That's obvious.
Hold on, let me think about this a bit. The only thing that could possibly be used is burned
It's
rope. I don't think
impossible.
anything else is related,
Tying
right?
just the legs is
Duct
one thing,
tape,
but
Monokuma plushie,
Tying
Monokuma
both arms
panels,
would be
oil lighter,
impossible.
torture wounds, burned rope is
You
the
couldn't
only
do
thing, yeah.
much with the free arm.
So, what am I?
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
Burned rope. Maybe that rope wasn't tied to a, like, anchor point or something? Maybe it was cut to begin with? Is that what they're trying to say here? Because I guess...
How about if you use...
I guess I've always assumed that the rope was, like, just burned away by the fire, and as a result, the arm was just like on the floor or whatever, but maybe it wasn't like used to tie him off in the first place. Maybe he tied it to himself as a cut rope to begin with to trick everybody, maybe? I guess that would make sense. If he wanted everybody to think that someone else did it, he would trick everybody into thinking he couldn't do it by himself by tying a rope to his own wrist or whatever. That was already cut. So, okay, let's try that.
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke? To actually tie up your own arm?
Yeah,
No, that's
okay.
wrong.
Interesting. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I
Hold
feel
on
like
a sec.
it
Isn't that
was
premise flawed?
I feel like it was too simple, so I never thought about it that way, but I guess it makes sense. If you're trying to trick everybody and he was the one who truly did that to himself.
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap. Is it because the fire didn't get to him? The right sleeve?
I see.
Yeah. Okay, that's why that was mentioned.
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, we're saying that Nagito tied up the burned rope already to his arm to make it look like the fire burned the rope off. But if the fire had reached that point, then there would at least be some kind of weird burn markings on his sleeves to begin with. Okay, I get it. Interesting. I don't know why my brain didn't immediately go to that. I guess to begin with, I might have been like, well, it burned the rope. It didn't get to that point to where it could like burn up his sleeves. But I guess that also works too if you look at it from another angle. That was a preconception on my part. That's interesting. I like that.
A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Hell yeah. Take it, brother. Take it.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you
Shut the
first.
fuck up, Sonia.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito.
But like, it was supposed to be a reward for me figuring stuff out. Why would you make me pay?
I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
Yeah, but he could have done that himself, right? Like, he could have held the knife in his teeth and then stabbed himself like that. And granted, that would be wicked hard, but so would stabbing yourself and tying yourself up in a burning building. So, if he's willing to do that, then he could have probably stabbed his own hand by holding the knife in his teeth or something. So...
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand.
Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me. Give me back that Benjamin.
I never gave you a Benjamin. Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back? What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
That's extortion. A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. It's okay, there's definitely an answer for this. He probably did something like hold a knife in his teeth. That's literally the only thing that's available, actually. Burned rope, survival knife. Actually, no, because he was duct
Even if
taped.
Nagito's right hand was free,
Wait.
how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
No, I don't think so. The knife is
Is he
too
a throwing
light
knife
for that.
expert? Maybe he propped the knife somehow
I feel like that might be it.
and slammed his right hand down on it?
I wanted to absorb that.
Onto what? If he just propped the knife, he could have used his bound left hand.
If you're tied up, your arms won't bend that easily. We don't know if his left hand could even reach his right hand.
If Nagito only used his right hand to stab himself in the palm, then how did he do it?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free. How could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air...
Was there a Monokuma panel near his body? Because he could have propped it up with that. He can't do it with his mouth because his mouth was duct taped shut. Oh, shit. He put the hole inside of the Monokuma plushie so that he could prop the knife handle up. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Okay, do I have...
fall. Could he stab his hand that way?
Monokuma plushie, yay!
Is he a throwing
Okay.
knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
Hell yeah. Okay, genius, big brain. That is so clever on his part, to be honest.
The life-sized Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
So that's why that was brought up, and Monokuma said that wasn't him.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach.
And that's why there was blood all over it, because he literally stabbed his own hand, and then blood probably splurted everywhere. So, literally, that's why there's a Monokuma with a hole in it, so that he can prop it up with blood all over it.
He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it.
And then I'm guessing he threw it. He yeeted it so that nobody would suspect.
If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem.
Which is?
The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right?
Yep.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible?
So, okay, let me think about this. He stabs himself 20 bajillion times in each thigh. He slices his left arm. He uses the plushie to stab his own arm while he's holding the line that goes to the spear that's hanging over the girder, is my guess, right? That's why his palm is free of blood. And actually, that's why his forefingers are covered in blood and not the back of his hand, because he was holding the cable away from himself while he was like stabbing himself a lot and all that crap. So that explains why his forefingers, but not his upper fingers, and his back of his hand was covered in blood and his palm was free of blood. So my guess is he just quite literally let it go and let the spear fall onto himself, right? But goddamn, the willpower you have to do to like stab yourself and keep holding on to that is ridiculous. Jesus Christ, what a psychopath. Jesus.
He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
No, that expression on his face denotes like a surprise of a sharp pain or something. So the spear was probably the last thing that struck him before he died.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
That's what she said. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
I'm not gonna blame you for this one. That was I did the same thing, so.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time. I need to record it. For reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
It's not.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I know the answer, guys. Big brain.
Also agree with that.
Big brain over here.
To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
I could believe it if it was a demented person like Nagito doing it to himself, so.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right?
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
goes
shut
for
the hell
this
up.
time too.
Nobody cares.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monami sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far, so...
That literally has nothing to do with the discussion. Ignore him.
This might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
It's literally the only thing the evidence fits. It's not it's the opposite of convenient. It's literally the only thing that the evidence points out that is possible. Unless you're saying the killer was simultaneously in two places at once, that's not possible.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
That's nice, but can we leave the pep talk for later? I want to continue the class trial.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
It's literally not. This is the same guy who said he would let someone kill him if it was for the sake of hope or whatever, so...
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
Well, yeah, if you're thinking about him grabbing the spear and literally like yeeting it into himself, then no. But if he's just holding the cord, hanging it over the girder, or if he's hanging the spear over the girder on the ceiling with the cord and holding the cord while he does everything, then and he drops the spear on himself, that makes sense. That's literally the only thing that makes sense, actually, because of that little bloodline over the girder in the ceiling, and the fact that there's a spot, like a fist-sized spot of blood missing from the line on the spear rope. That's the only reason that makes sense as to why that would be there. Sorry, I'm confusing myself.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I know a way.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Everyone working together.
She's right. We made it through several ordeals till now by doing that. Then even now.
All right, let's do this.
Torture wounds, Monokuma plushie, oil lighter, survival knife, burned rope.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
Blood on left hand.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No.
No, that's wrong.
Because the palms were heavy. Mom spaghetti. Sorry.
Hold on.
The palms had no blood on
It's still too early
it.
to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That's not how stuff splatters. It just doesn't splatter in a circular motion and then go beyond that and then skip over that and then blood splatter further in. That's not how blood splatter works.
That settles the description of that blood stain, but it's not the only unnatural blood stain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural blood stain, but what's wrong with that?
Literally everything is wrong with that.
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
Holding something like, say, the cord to the spear. What was Nagito's hand holding while the blood was... He was holding, or he was gripping.
I see.
The grip. He had the grip.
When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking blood stain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
I don't think that was the appropriate time for him to, rub one out while he was killing himself, but good guess, I guess, Sakane. Good job.
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear.
No, he wasn't grabbing the spear. He was not grabbing the spear. Well, yeah, he was, but he wasn't.
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild.
Yeah, there was just like one singular slash or something.
He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
That's right, that's the problem.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle. Just like fixing an old TV.
What are we talking about?
Oh, I got it.
Really?
Yeah, like I thought. It's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear, I think. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
Which section of the spear was he holding on to? The cord?
I see.
I big-brained this a while ago.
That's it. Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Like his palm?
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
Yep.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
Because, my boy, we get to see how he impaled himself with the staff or the spear.
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That would be really awesome, but no. He just dropped it on himself by hanging it over the girder.
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki?
I know the answer. Someone pick me.
I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily.
Nagito was gripping the cord extending from the butt of the spear with his left hand, but from here, how would he have stabbed himself in the stomach with a spear? Huh.
It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
What does that mean?
That's a long plan name.
Yeah.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.
Nagito was facing up and the spear was stabbed through his stomach. I know what they're saying. It dropped straight down. I already figured it out with my big brain. Big brain over here. So it's just before that. Yep. That's it. Could it be? The state of the spear and the fact that Nagito was holding the tip of the cord attachment. If I put those together and think about it, I should be able to figure it out. Where the spear was and the state it was in before it grabbed Nagito, or stabbed Nagito, not grabbed it. The spear does not grab. Oh, a logic dive. Lovely. Okay. Wee. Oh boy. Question 1. Where was the spear just before it impaled Nagito? Above Nagito. It was hanging off of the ceiling girder. Based on that blood mark that was straight and red. Could have only possibly come from the cord. Oh, moving stuff. Lovely. Oh my. Oh my. Gosh darn it. Question 2. Besides the spear, what else was above Nagito? The ceiling girder. Is the third question gonna be like, what was on the ceiling girder or something? What the hell? Oh my god. Out to die to a logic dive again. What item connects both the spear and the ceiling girder? The spear's cord. Okay.
It's all coming together.
Big brain, it's all coming together.
The spear impaled Nagito as he was laying face up. It must have been perpendicular to him just before that.
Perpendicular? In the middle of the air?
If Nagito did that all by himself, did he have some sort of ESP?
Unfortunately, no. His talent was luck, alas.
That'd be awesome, but he'd probably use the ceiling girder directly above him.
Nagito probably slung the cord over the ceiling girder, and using that as a support, he hoisted the spear directly above him. And if Nagito let go of the cord, the spear would have fallen and impaled him while he was laying face up.
The spear must be heavy as shit, though. To stab straight down like that.
I noticed a slight red streak on the ceiling girder. It probably got smeared there during the setup.
The blood on the cord probably rubbed off on the ceiling girder as the spear was falling. So, how about it? Using this method, Nagito could have impaled himself with the spear.
Are you serious? He really committed suicide? Like that?
Yeah, bro was crazy as hell. That's what I've been saying.
He probably chose that spear so he could commit suicide like that. If someone else did this, there's no reason they'd go to all this trouble just to kill someone with a spear.
I agree. When I was investigating this case, I kept thinking over and over how strange it was. Why did the killer use the knife and the spear so differently?
So you're saying he needed to use that spear to pull off his trick?
Then, this is for real?
Yeah, bro was something else.
He really committed suicide? Every single wound on his body. That was all him?
He has, I'll give him this, he has a lot of goddamn willpower. Could you imagine stabbing yourself like 20 times in each leg? Slashing your arm, tying yourself up, stabbing your own right hand with a like propped up knife? Because like normally when you're encountering situations like that, you don't like, your conscience stops you from hurting yourself, right? Could you imagine doing all that and then dropping a spear of doom onto your abdomen? That's, wow.
Not just that, he did all that while he was gripping the spear?
Yeah.
That spear should not have stabbed Nagito until the very end. Which means Nagito wounded himself while he was gripping that spear, right?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about it. He didn't let go of the spear at all. Bro, like, injured himself several times. Like, severe injuries. And still, like, gripped the goddamn heavy spear above himself.
Did he put the duct tape on his mouth, too?
He probably covered his own mouth so we wouldn't hear him screaming in pain.
Did he need to go that far? That's beyond crazy. Why would he do that to himself?
He was probably trying to get us to make a mistake.
A last final fuck you to everybody here, I guess.
By committing a suicide that looked like a murder, he was trying to steer us toward the wrong answer. His goal was to get us all executed.
And that's why he stabbed himself over and over again?
Did he want us to die that bad?
That's messed up. That's seriously so messed up.
Yeah, that's our Nagito.
Yep. Jeez, and I was starting to feel a little sympathetic towards him. How stupid of me. I completely underestimated his capacity for malice. I didn't. A mind-boggling malice that threatens us even after he's died. That's the form his malice took. I had forgotten all about it until now. If he was here now, he'd probably be sneering at me.
However, there is one thing I still do not understand. He said he would reveal the traitor, right?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. If he orchestrated the whole thing and killed himself, how the hell, why the hell even do the previous actions? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Whatever became of that?
Yeah, nothing. That's why I'm confused. Why do all that crap to begin with?
He was probably planning to kill the traitor along with the rest of us.
So why did he not just do that in the first place?
I don't know.
If he had no qualms with killing everyone, he did not have to cause a bomb scare to reveal the traitor.
Maybe it was a final resort?
I bet the bomb scare was part of the strategy behind this trick. He made us split up and search for a bomb so none of us would have an alibi.
True, also. And that gave him time to set up his whole, warehouse enclosed space type thing.
He created a scenario where any of us could have killed him.
He tried to make us doubt each other. It tried to hide the truth behind his suicide.
Did he cause a bomb scare for that reason alone?
He's a fucking bastard who killed himself for his delusions of grandeur. It's not that unthinkable.
True.
You are right, I suppose.
Sonia, I get giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, you're way too charitable. At this point, if somebody kill your entire family, you'd give them the goddamn benefit of the doubt. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it appears we've come to a conclusion. The bastard Nagito committed suicide. It was all done by him so he'd be executed.
That should be okay, right? Right?
Well, now that you guys are saying that like that, I kind of don't want to vote. I don't want to, want to discuss further now.
What? You're not satisfied yet?
No, I agree that Nagito killed himself, but I feel like there's something that doesn't make sense. It's probably just my imagination.
Why? I mean, I sort of understand what she's talking about. I don't think it's a mistake to assume that Nagito committed the big S, but why do I feel so uneasy about it? There's also one thing we're forgetting. We're forgetting about the whole poison thing in Nagito's room, right? And how I think that he used the bombs. He put poison in the bombs or whatever. Why would he use that? That doesn't make sense. He's already injured himself, so it doesn't make sense why he would use the bombs and so forth. So I don't know. Is it because we don't know who the traitor is, or?
So what are you gonna do? Is it okay to proceed with the voting time?
What do you think, Akane?
Well, there's no doubt Nagito's death was a suicide. Oh well, I guess my gut is wrong sometimes.
You are right. It is not as though we can draw any other conclusion.
Then it's okay to end it here, huh? That means we're done with this last class trial and we can leave this island, right? It's okay to reach such a happy ending, right?
Then it's okay? It's okay to say, you've decided on the killer? Understood. Then voting time.
No, hold on a sec.
Hold on. Why?
Sorry, just a little more. I want you guys to wait just a little more. I can't help but feel like there's still something we overlooked.
Like who the traitor is?
But the issue here is who killed Nagito, right? Even if we identify the traitor, the conclusion won't change.
That's true, I suppose.
That's true, but...
Yeah.
The mystery isn't just about who the traitor is.
Huh?
No matter how you look at it, Nagito's death is a suicide. But I'm a little worried, you know? I'm worried about starting the voting time while there's still a mystery.
Hey, what do you mean it's not about who the traitor is? What kind of mystery is left?
There's just one thing that doesn't make sense, and it relates to Nagito's death. Plus, it's something even Nagito couldn't influence. He couldn't even tamper with the evidence for it.
What? Something related to Nagito's death, and it's something that even he couldn't have messed
You're
with.
gonna keep going? Here, I thought we were finally finished.
Something related to Nagito's death, a piece of evidence that he couldn't mess with? Estimated time of death is believed noon sharp. Multiple stab wounds on each of his thigh. Laceration of his left arm. I don't get it. I feel like I might have to go down the list. I literally don't get what they... A piece of evidence that he couldn't mess with? He could mess with literally everything. Except for the Monokuma file? Is that...
I see.
Okay, that's a shot in the dark. Wow.
Is it about the Monokuma file?
Yeah, that's it.
Huh? There was something suspicious in the Monokuma file?
I didn't notice. Unless we're talking about the time of his death. The victim was Nagito Komeda, cause of death. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right arm. Are we getting at the fact that it's not really calling out a specific cause of death, I guess? The suspicious part of the Monokuma file that Chiaki is worried about is... What is this? What's hidden in the Monokuma file? Like the specific cause of death? Cause of death. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I would have never caught that, to be quite honest. Holy crap, game. They literally turned this up to 20 bajillion for no reason. Jesus Christ. My objective is survive, basically. Jesus Christ, look at my health. Wow.
In this particular case's Monokuma file, there's no specific cause of death.
Yeah, it kind of just points out that there's stab wounds and stuff. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. Furthermore, there's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand.
Isn't that weird? Until now, the files always specified the cause of death.
Yeah, they usually said the cause of death was stabbed through here or stabbed through there, I suppose. That's very vague, though. I never would have caught that without the game pointing it out.
But the cause of death is obvious, is it not?
Not really. He could have bled out from the wounds on his legs, the spear, the wound on his arm, like...
The spear in Nagito's stomach. It is obvious just by looking at it that it was a cause of death.
Maybe it's not included if it's not important enough to write about.
Well, Monokuma,
I plead the fifth!
There he goes again! I'm so appalled that I have nothing to say.
But even during Gundam's case, and before during Mikan's case, the thing he purposely omitted from the Monokuma file was always the most important mystery in the case.
Also true.
Are you saying that applies this time too?
Hold on a sec. Then, are you saying there's more to Nagito's death?
I guess. I still don't know how the poison comes into this, to be honest.
Are you suggesting, again, that his death wasn't a suicide?
Unless he wanted one of us to poison him to make it impossible to determine who killed him. But like, how did he, if that was the case, how did he know he wouldn't die from the fucking spear in his stomach? So, like...
You guys were the ones who said it was a suicide in the first place.
No, I don't think it's a mistake to call Nagito's death a suicide, but it's not just a suicide. Come to think of it, did Nagito really commit suicide just to get us all killed?
Are you sticking up for him?
That's not what I meant. I mean it in a bad sense.
Bad sense?
I just remembered that his malice always defied our expectations, and that concerns me. For example, would that malice just end here?
Huh?
Did Nagito's malice drive him to risk his life for a truth we'd reach this easily? I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about, you know?
How interesting! You sure do believe in Nagito, huh?
Not believe in him, believe in his maliciousness.
Because you believe in his malice,
Yeah.
you continue to suspect his malice. I see. I guess that's what passes for friendship these days.
That guy was nobody's friend. He was a goddamn crazy person. I can't believe he's crazier than the serial killer in the first game, to be honest.
What friendship?
What should we do, you guys? Should we proceed with the vote? I think we should keep going until everyone is satisfied. Even if it's just to be safe.
You are right. We only get one chance to vote after all.
Just to be safe, huh? Guess I have no choice. If that's the case, I'll do my best to go along with it.
This is friggin' annoying. But if you guys say you're doing it, there's no way I'm gonna back out.
The followers always...
Hey, Monokuma, you heard us. The voting's gonna have to wait!
We've come this far. Let's work hard till the very end. If we work together, everything should be all right. That's what I believe.
Oh, splendid. You guys are so splendid right now. That's right. If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you.
If all your hopes are united, no despair can shake you, huh? Now that I think about it, Nagito said the same thing. The absolute hope that can overcome any despair. He said he was yearning for that. And this situation we're in might be the thing that Nagito wanted all along. No, never mind. I'm probably overthinking. Oh, is this the halfway point already?